Shakespeare is a world-renowned English playwright. The play, Merchant of Venice, is a jewel in the crown of his comedy. The play is known for Portia's wit and intelligence and stand as a testimony of Shakespeare's strong, witty, intelligent, and powerful women character. The story of Merchant of Venice happens in the city of Venice in Italy. Antonio, a Christian merchant, is a money lender known for his honesty and humbleness. Bassanio and Lorenzo are his friends. Shylock, a Jew, also a money lender, hates Antonio for being honest and hold vengeance against him. Bassanio, Antonio's friend, falls in love with Portia of Belmont and asks money from Antonio to marry her. Antonio, whose ships are at sea, tells him to borrow from someone else and he would repay it. Bassanio approaches Shylock. Shylock readily accepts, and the condition is that Antonio signs a bond with him. The bond states that if Antonio failed to repay the debt within 6 months of time, Shylock would cut a pound of flesh nearby Antonio's heart. Antonio agrees and signs the bond. Bassanio marries Portia. Unfortunately, Antonio's ship sinks in the sea and falls a victim to Shylock. Shylock challenges Antonio in the court of Venice. Portia appears in the disguise of a lawyer and argues in favor of Antonio. The case challenges wit and intelligence of Portia, and what unfolds in the court of Venice before the Duke and the public is a sheer intelligence of Portia, an epitome of powerful portrayal of Shakespeare's women character. Deepshika as Duke.
William Shakespeare.
Mahibalan as Shylock. Anushri as Portia. Disguises as lawyer Balthazar. Balaji as Antonio. Vashvitashri as Nerissa. Nirmal Kumar as Bassanio. Durga as Salarino.
What? Is Antonio here?
Ready, so please, your grace.
I'm sorry for thee. Thou art come to answer a stony adversary.
I have heard your grace had taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course.
Go on and call the Jew into the court.
He is ready at the door. He comes, my lord.
Make room and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty, and where thou now exacts the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh. We all expect a gentle answer. Jew?
I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by a holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond.
This is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty.
I am not bound to please thee with my answer.
Do all men kill the things they do not love?
Hates any man the things he would not kill.
Every offense is not hated first.
What? Wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice?
For thy 3,000 ducats, here is 6.
If every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts, and every part a ducat, I would not draw them. I would have my bond.
How shall thou hope for mercy, rendering none?
What judgment shall I dread, doing no wrong? There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it?
Upon my part, I may dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor, whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today.
My lord, here stays without a messenger with letters from a doctor. You come from Padua?
Came you from Padua, from Bellario?
From both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace.
This letter from Bellario that commend a young and learned doctor to our court. Where is he?
He attends here hard by to know your answer, whether you will admit him.
With all my heart, some 3 or 4 of you go give him courteous conduct to this place. Give me your hand, came you from old Bellario?
I did, my lord.
You're welcome, take your place.
I'm informed thoroughly of the cause. Which is the merchant here and which is the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful.
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. 'Tis twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throne monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit in the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above the scepter's way. 'Tis enthroned in the hearts of kings. 'Tis an attribute to God himself. No earthly power doth then show like us gods, where mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be the plea, consider this, that in course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that the same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of the plea. Which of the follow the straight court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there?
My deeds upon my head. I crave the law, the penalty, and forfeit of my bond.
Be merciful, take thrice thy money, bid me tear the bond.
There is no power in a tongue of a man to alter me. I stay here on my bond.
The pound of that same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most rightful judge,
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
most learned judge, a sentence, come prepared.
Tarry a little. There is something else. This bond that give thee no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond, take thou thy a pound of flesh. But in cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are by the law of Venice confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Is that the law?
Thou shalt have justice more than thou desirest.
I take this offer then. Pay the bond thrice and let the Christian go.
He hath refused it in the open court. He shall have merely justice and his bond.
Shall I not have barely my principal?
Thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth it is Antonio's. The other half comes to the general state, which humbleness may drive unto a fine.
Nay, take my life and all. Pardon, not that. I pray you, give me leave to go from hence. I am not well.
Most worthy gentlemen, I and my friend have by your wisdom been this day acquitted.
And stand indebted over and above in love and service to you evermore.
I pray you know me when we meet again. I wish you well, and so I take my leave.